What's incredible about the West is that we often think of it as being the Wild West. We often think of gunslingers. We often think of bank robbers or various criminal gangs. But the truth is that the West often was not that wild. Men like Wild Bill Hickok, or men like Buffalo Bill Cody, or women like Annie Oakley, all of those characters became famous because A, they did shows in places like New York City and Philadelphia, which were called Western shows, and they showed their incredible riding and lasso and shooting skills. But in reality, the West that was often presented in the penny novels of the day, which were kind of like our comic books, or the West that was presented in Western movies of, say, the 1950s and 1960s, that West really didn't exist except in very small examples. The shootout in Tombstone, for example, is one of the most famous, but it's one of a few, and even in that Tombstone shootout, only 3 actually died. The truth is that the West really wasn't that wild because law and order was largely maintained by the Second Amendment. The fact that people could arm themselves was a continual deterrent against crime. Now, again, the fact that people could arm themselves and could also drink themselves silly also meant that you had poor judgment and you had miscarriages of justice because you had murder. But the bottom line is that it's during this time that there were over 200 Justice Leagues, so to speak. Only over 200 different groups of men who did not use pistols but used rifles and who traveled together when necessary to pursue a thief or pursue a murderer. So even though you have infamous gangs or infamous criminals like Billy the Kid or Jesse James, those men were kind of few and far between. They were not the common members of the West.